Sickos Club.
Sickos Club.
Professional wrestling.
Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome back for another week and another episode of Pro Wrestling Forever. I'm your host, the toast of the Third Coast, Professor Degree. With me, as always, is a man that I said I knew well and sometimes hated. I Blade Daily. Blade, how are you doing today?
I'm all right. I'm all right, Professor Degree. How are you?
I'm fucking awesome, and I'm quoting Jim Croce. So today, I'm wearing a track jacket, and I'm wearing this track jacket which is rubbing up against my microphone and really irritating me. In honor of a very special episode we have today, we are reviewing The Wrestler. Not The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, but The Wrestler from 1974, independent film directed by Jim Westman, produced by Verne Gagne and W.R. Frank, and written by Eugene Gump. And if that isn't the biggest bunch of pseudonyms I've ever heard, I don't know what is. The movie stars Ed Asner as promoter Frank Bass. Verne plays over-the-hill champ Mike Bullard. Elaine Giftos is the secretary Debbie. You might recognize her from every television show that has ever existed in the 1960s through the 80s, including but not limited to I Dream of Jeannie, Bonanza, My Three Sons, Ironside, Adam 12, Streets of San Francisco, The Paul Lynde Show, Love American Style, a recurring role as Reuben Kincaid's girlfriend on The Partridge Family. Fat chance, dude. That lady was way out of that guy's league. Kolchak the Night Stalker, Bob Newhart, Quincy M.E., $6 Million Man, a whole bunch of shit, bunch of movies. You don't even care. It also stars...
Well, she's who they got when they couldn't afford Mary Tyler Moore.
She's exactly who they got when they couldn't.
She looks a lot like Mary Tyler Moore.
The only credit that's not in here is actually Mary Tyler Moore. Pro wrestler Billy Robinson plays Billy Taylor. Some Sarah Miller plays Betty Bullard. Sam Menaker plays Mobster. And Hard-Boiled Haggerty has a special guest appearance as the bartender. American silver medal weightlifter Harold Sakata, who also went into professional wrestling as Tosh Togo, a partner of the Great Togo, and two-time NCAA wrestling champion Joe Scarpello plays Jack Cutter.
We also get an appearance from Dan Gable in this movie. Oh, yeah. The greatest amateur wrestler in the world at the time. Right. Makes a brief appearance in this movie. This movie is chock full of cameos.
Indeed.
And we're going to talk about them one by one as they happen. And Degree.
And it's even, yes.
I just interrupted you. Go ahead.
I just interrupted you, actually.
Well, now that I've interrupted you, interrupting me.
It's also,
go ahead.
It's a movie full of name dropping. And speaking of name dropping, I heard that you had a little piece of information about this film you wanted to share.
I did. Thank you, Degree. I reached out to my good, close personal friend, Lance Storm, on Threads about this movie because I was pretty sure that Lance must have seen it at some point. And he said he had. He said he had a DVD copy that he thinks Don Callis borrowed and never returned. It was originally titled The Promoter. And then he goes on to say, don't have much memory of it now, but recall at the time mentioning to, I think, Wade Keller, that it seemed more about the promoter, who's played by Ed Asner, and should have been called The Promoter, and speculated that The Wrestler might be a more marketable title. Wade responded that was 100% what happened.
Yeah.
And that is true. That is completely true. Ed Asner is the main protagonist, and he's a tweener. Can we call it that? Because there's an element of him trying to screw job the real hero in this movie, Mike Bullard, played by Verne Gagne.
Right. Because the moral of the story is that bald people are number one, baby.
Now, I'm glad you brought that up, Degree, because as a bald yourself, you must have been fucking over the moon.
There's so many bald dudes with pot bellies. I felt right at home. I thought that maybe the movie was made about myself, actually.
Yeah. And you see people in this movie throughout that look just like Verne Gagne with the horseshoe kind of thing going on, horseshoe hair, right down the middle bald. And so many times I'm like, oh, why? Wow, Verne's getting his ass kicked. I don't remember this. And then it's not Verne. It's just a guy who looks exactly like him.
Yeah, and that's what my notes are full of that. Just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Who's this guy? So I'm going to run down the basic plot because I do have it written on a piece of paper. So basically, the story is about the promoter, Frank Bass, but Mike Bullard has been the champion for a very long time. He's defeated all contenders, and there's a lot of pressure for him to step down. This movie's all about pressure. Bass is under pressure from the board, who wants a hot young star, and he's on the lookout for someone to take Bullard down. He's also under pressure from the mafia because they want to fix the fight. Bullard's wife is pressuring Bass and Mike Bullard to convince Mike to retire. And of course, Debbie, the secretary, is pressuring Mike Bass for a little something else. Yeah. But we'll get to that.
Well, she's pressuring him to open up. Let's be real.
Yes.
And I think it's better if we call Mike Bullard Verne, because
it's too hard to
too hard to follow.
And same thing with that Asner, because I didn't even learn.
You don't learn his name till like halfway through the movie.
Well, and the secretary's name I found on Wikipedia. I have no idea what her name was. Debbie.
Okay.
Just Debbie. The mobster is listed as mobster.
Did you see his credits? What else is he in?
Hold on, I got Wikipedia open right now.
Yeah, please. So what I would say is that
nothing. He is fucking listed in nothing. You can't.
I feel like I've seen him in at least one other thing. I don't know.
He's one of those guys that's like, he's like Debbie, where it's like he's been on a ton of TV shows.
Right.
Luckily, I have a phone here too.
Okay. No, don't worry about it. Now,
good.
I would say this movie, before we get into it, we're going to make fun of this movie a lot. We're going to talk a lot of shit about the way they made it, because it's not made very well. Sorry, Gagne Frank Productions.
All these people are probably dead by now.
Yeah, they're all dead. But I will say, one, this is not the worst wrestling movie I've ever seen, and it's not even close. No Holds Barred is by far a much worse movie than this. Two, this is the closest you could get to making a real documentary about wrestling at that time. It almost is a documentary in a certain way.
It's crazy how much they pull back the curtain. They never explicitly break kayfabe, but they get right up to the wall and just kind of brush up against it. I was shocked.
They almost literally tell you it's fake. Like, I mean, they almost tell you that. And they kind of do almost. Billy Lalonde says, I want to see a Texas death match between Ed Asner and Charles Durning.
Who would win?
I don't even know who Charles Durning is.
Oh, When a Stranger Calls.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That guy.
All right. And then Billy says, this movie doesn't even really start until halfway through. That is true. Because that's the first time you see Verne is about halfway through the movie. And then it shocks me that Verne was not a master filmmaker from Blurry Line.
If you like Billy Jack and movies like that, and if you like the episode where Mr. Rogers goes to the crayon factory and you could somehow mush them into the same movie, it would be this movie. It's almost there, but yet it's like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely so bad it's good.
Yeah. Yeti Malone in the chat says, it's real to me, damn it. The thing is, and we'll talk about this more after the review is over. We've never done a wrestling movie review. This is our third episode, so we'll see how well we do with this format. But Ed Asner is basically playing the Booker id of Verne Gagne. And this movie is littered with Verne Gagne's philosophies about the wrestling business, his anger at the media for the lack of coverage, his anger at like gimmick wrestlers who aren't really good wrestlers.
His anger at people telling him he's too old.
Yeah. Oh my God.
1974. When was his last title reign?
It was like 81.
Yeah. And in 74, they were already saying, you're too old, you're bald, you're knock-kneed, you got a pot belly, and he runs through it. To his credit, he takes it all on in the movie, but it's like, maybe you should have just listened to them and maybe you'd still be in business. The only thing missing is that,
The only thing missing is that Terry Funk didn't retire in this movie. That is
Terry
true.
Funk. Is he in this movie?
No, he's not. But
okay, I was gonna say
he could have been, because
it's shocking. He's like the only one who's not.
Yeah,
you know,
he could have made an appearance for sure.
So, do you want to start running down the movie, or
Yeah. Okay. So who's going to do the play-by-play of the movie structure here?
I mean,
want to do it?
both of our. I'll do it. I looked at your notes. Your notes are alarmingly similar to mine. I think we both just sat there typing the whole time, like, and then this guy shows up, and then this guy shows up.
Yeah.
So the movie opens. You're backstage, like at a TV studio or whatever, and Larry Henning is cutting out a promo, calling out Mike Bullard. He calls him all the things I just listed. Fucking Larry looking just like Kurt Hennig. Like, just a thicker Kurt, basically. It cuts to this fisheye lens shot of a wrestling match. Absolutely terrible footage. Kind of looks like that one Beastie Boys video. Is it So What You Want?
What You Want, yeah.
Lens? Yeah. So as the match is going on, fucking Ed Asner appears like Rod Serling in the Twilight Zone. And hi, I'm Frank Bass. And the man you're watching right now, that's Mike Bullard.
Yep.
He explains how Mike has been on top for a super long time. Mike has taken everyone out with his drop kick, followed by a sleeper hold. Mike has won NCAA championships. Oh, let me see. Basically, an Olympic gold medal, apparently. If there is a sports award, fucking Mike Bullard has won it.
Yeah, he's bald, he's a wrestler, and he's still number one.
Right.
Yep.
Even though he's like 50 years old.
He's a bald ass fucking winter white killing machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If you look up a picture. I know you're watching this like maybe you're on your computer, grab your phone, whatever. Look up a picture of Verne Gagne if you're not familiar with who he is. His contemporaries at the time, Pedro Morales is the WWF champ. I think Terry's the NWA champ. Dory is. I'm sorry. And we'll get into that later. But so yeah, we've got a little bit of sexy saxophone. Sounds a little bit like The Naked Gun or like so many ABC after school specials. Mm-hmm. And the music is obviously just fucking like whatever you could get for free. Public domain music.
Right. Whatever was available from whatever production studio's library that they were working with.
It feels like they went to like the local community college and like that's who they got to, man the cameras. The sound is god awful. Like there are many points in the movie. Maybe it's just I had a bad transfer, but like it just sounds like they're in an open room full of echo, full of reverb. So maybe I missed a few plot points here and there, but that's okay.
Also, everybody thinks they have a bad transfer because the movie's of poor quality. The worst quality is always the in-ring stuff because the last thing we got to mention before we get rolling here is that a lot of these matches were filmed with no audio. And so they add the audio in after the fact. And it's like a Bruce Lee movie with the and then, slapping somebody's skin or something. And then, but if they slam a guy, there's no mat sound at all. No. Ever.
No. And every once in a while you'll catch somebody like, yelling out in the crowd, and it just totally
and it's fake crowd noise too. There's a very small man, like a little person, walking around very triumphantly cheering and jeering, and then there's always a huge floodlight that they put the guys against the hard cam, so that is blinding and you can't see anything. And at one point, the shot where Verne does the drop kick in the first match. The ref makes sure to walk right in front of the camera and you get like a prolonged shot of his crotch before you see Verne hit the dropkick.
That was the best shot we had. We only have so much film here. We got to run with this because a lot of the budget for this movie, I think, went to the wood paneling in Verne's basement because I'm pretty sure that's actually Verne's house where they keep going to.
I think it is. Yeah.
Dude's got a fireplace and shit like that. Like he didn't. Yeah. So, okay. Who's in the first match? I'm trying to remember. It's Verne and who else?
It's Verne versus...
it's probably Larry. It's probably Larry Hennig.
It might be, but to me, it actually looked like a guy who kind of looks like Nick Bockwinkel, but it's not Nick Bockwinkel. Yeah. It's just a nobody character that nobody's going to care about. But yeah, basically, you're meeting Ed Asner, who is the promoter.
And the Rod Serling. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the one introducing, the basic plot of the movie.
So we cut to the wrestling office where Debbie, the secretary, is taking a phone call. Debbie has a penchant for sweater vests and butterfly collars. She's taking a call from Jim Barnett in what will be the first of many, many name drops in this movie. Bruiser and Crusher walk in. They have like a little playful back and forth with her. Ed Asner's getting them like tickets to Japan. It's like they're just... The movie is nothing but Easter eggs for wrestling fans. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just, oh, he's the Japanese champ. Oh, they're going to do a tour. Oh, they're going to go to this. I don't think they mention Riviera Steakhouse, but like, it's like the only thing they don't mention in the movie, you know?
Well, and it's even Lord James Blears who comes in and starts talking about it, who's a famous wrestling head from that time. He was running like Hawaii. I think he was a part of running Hawaii. And when they say Jim Barnett's calling, you know, he's famously known as a GCW Georgia guy and then a WWF guy. But at the time, he literally had to leave the United States and run wrestling in Australia because he scammed a bunch of people. And so he had to disappear.
A wrestling promoter scammed a bunch of people?
It's the first time I've ever heard of that. But do you know what the name of his Australian promotion was, Degree? World Championship Wrestling.
No shit.
Yes.
Well, how about that?
That's the first time the WCW name was ever used.
Fantastic. So then Mike Buller's wife calls, and this is a little bit more of an emergency. Ed Asner. I mean, I think Ed Asner's good. I think the lady who plays the secretary is actually pretty good too.
I mean, they're actors.
Yes, the actors who play them.
They know how
they
to
are
act.
acting.
They know how to act.
Yeah,
right.
like she's super charming, and she's just got an adorable smile. And he's just exasperated and having one of these. Yeah. So he leaves.
So he has to go to
her house,
Verne's wife,
to calm her down. On his way to the door, which is about as far away as that door to me, he name drops Lord James Blears, Gene Kaniski, and Cowboy Bill Watts.
Yep.
Before he even hits the fucking door.
Right.
And then the secretary mentions superstar Billy Graham.
Yes. And then as he's leaving, she also runs up and kisses him on the cheek.
And that is foreshadowing. Next,
she
we
looks
go to
like his granddaughter.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, but it's 1974. This woman's probably 32 years old. So she's basically a spinster in 70s, time frame, whatever. So anyway, Asner goes over to Mike Bullard's house. His wife is there. She goes downstairs and tells him, and this was fucked up. She mentions Bobby Duncombe, right? Who must have just recently died at that point. And like, I hope you got Bobby Duncombe's family's consent to mention his name and his death in this film. But because of his death, she's concerned. She doesn't want Mike to die, Verne. She shows him some footage of a bunch of different superstars. Blade, who do we see at this point? Since I'm doing all the talking here.
Yeah, so she makes Ed Asner watch footage of Pedro Morales, who they
have one of those reel-to-reel things in
everybody's got a reel-to-reel in their home. Like,
and it's like these tiny little things.
Yeah, so they're watching footage of Pedro Morales, who was the WWF champion and outside of kayfabe at the time.
And he refers to him
as the Eastern
States. Yeah.
And then they show footage of Dory Funk. And while they're showing the footage of Dory Funk, who was the NWA champion, she notes how good they are and how young they are. And I simply have to say, Dory Funk looks no younger than 55 years old.
Oh, he looks just as old as Mike.
And so they talk about Verne crossing leagues because what they're building to is a Super Bowl of wrestling where all the champions are going to face each other. It's never been done.
Oh, Mike's never crossed leagues before.
You're right. But she is deathly afraid that that Verne, we got to stop calling him Mike. Call him Verne.
Yeah, sorry.
So she is desperately afraid because he's been taking on the best in the world that he's going to die in the ring. And
yes.
And Ed Asner tries to comfort her. And for a minute, I kind of wonder if they're going to fuck, but they don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
Because it's soft lighting. She's gazing out the window and he kind of like comes up and puts his hands on her shoulders. Yeah. And he like may even give her a little kiss or something.
Yeah.
But it was the 70s. It was a different time. You could do that.
Yep.
Then it cuts to go ahead.
It's one of the highlights of the movie.
I was really excited. I'm sorry. I didn't want to like.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
But then it cuts to the scene of Ed Asner in the sauna, laying down in the sauna with what appears to be a sweater vest.
Mhm.
It's not.
It's just the hair on his back.
He was built with that. And a couple of mobsters show up and they start strong arming him. They want Mike to throw the match, or do they just want money at this point? Are they specific?
They just want money. I think they want to get in on the action is the thing.
And
Ed Asner
they want him
is
to,
a hard man. He's not conceding anything.
well, if there's one thing that, Ed Asner, as you said earlier, he's not always on the up and up. He is kind of trying to screw his guys over. But as a promoter, there's one thing that he will never do, and that is throw a wrestling match.
Yeah.
He will never fix a wrestling match.
No.
He will never work. Wrestling is absolutely a legitimate sport.
Yep.
It's nothing staged at all.
Right.
And then Bruiser and Crusher show up, and they're basically just kind of like, fuck you, get out of here. Don't mess with
they
Ed
scare the
Asner.
mob off.
And I like Bruiser and Crusher in this movie. I
They're
think
one of the
kinda
better.
funny.
They're very entertaining in their cameos.
Yeah, they play them like they're like, I don't know, not like Abbott and Costello or something, but they're just kind of a couple of goofballs, and like they're funny, they're good, they're little. All their
They're a
scenes
couple
are good.
Big dummies who are there to provide some comic relief.
They're galoots.
Yes, they are galoots.
Back in Ed Asner's office, and now keep in mind, this is maybe 20 minutes into the movie.
Yeah,
I felt like at least an hour had gone by, and I was like, wow, like this is only an hour and 45 minutes. Are we going to get to it? It just moves that way. Here's where Lord James Blear shows up.
Yeah,
he's got a reel-to-reel, and he wants to show Billy Taylor, who has won titles in every title in Europe and Asia. Ed Asner sees this footage. He calls him a combination of Gotch and Nagurski, and he says he's got to get him. 2 more names there. We should start having like a dinger, like a counter for every name.
I know. This is a very starfucker movie.
Dude, the whole thing.
Yeah. But it's Billy Robinson playing Billy Taylor, who Billy Robinson is legend in Japan, legend in Britain, and legend in America. One of the greatest scientific wrestlers of all time. He trained a ton of people, tons of people. I mean, tons and tons and tons. I'm sure he worked with Finley and Regal. I'm sure he had something to do with them.
Yeah, and he's good. Like all the shit they show, he's totally he's a technical wrestler. It's like watching a 70s Zack Sabre Jr., who I fucking love.
If Zack Sabre Jr. was a barrel-chested dude who didn't wear knee pads.
Yeah, well, if he wasn't fucking 97 pounds, then yes.
But the point of Blear showing up is to tell Ed Asner he's got a challenger for Verne.
I've got the guy that's going to take Verne down.
So they watch some tape, and he's a combination of Nagurski and Gotch. Then they're going to go see Billy Robinson train in a gym.
Right.
We cut in on a guy lifting these huge weights. It's fucking Ken Patera.
Right. And I didn't even catch that.
Gigantic weights. I'm like, I didn't think Billy Robinson could lift like that. It's not Billy Robinson. That's why. No, it's Ken Patera. Yeah. Then they kind of, the camera travels with the characters, and they go to the back of the gym where you see Billy basically like big timing a fucking somebody who can't work at his level at all.
Right.
And I think it's Mike Graham, actually.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I think it is.
So Asner shows up, and he's basically just like, hey, I want to book you for this exhibition match with Bockwinkel at the Boys Club, where they're going to do like a little, I don't know, whatever, little show to try to get some kids involved in wrestling. He says he wants to do it. Ed goes back to his office, and he says, get another ticket for that flight tonight. Ed Asner is convinced that this guy is going to win and beat Verne Gagne, and his secretary just says no. She has faith. She knows that nobody can beat Verne Gagne.
You hear the audio of her making the reservation, and just to give you some perspective on what it took to book a flight back then, she goes, yes, I'd like to book one more seat on the plane. And they go, okay, what's his name? And she gives them their name, and then they go, cool. And that's it. That's the end of the conversation.
Yeah,
we have some au contraire in the chat here from Billy. Billy. Tons of people had movie projectors back in those days. It was the time of Super 8 films. All of your grandparents had them, guaranteed. And then Billy says, I don't think Mike
I don't
Bass
think
was
Verne
trying to
did.
screw over his own wrestlers. His passion was to try to find somebody to beat Verne. He had all the respect for the sport and
Well,
wanted to find a worthy opponent.
I'm just saying, if he was loyal to Verne, maybe he wouldn't have done that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think
I'm not looking for people to beat you up.
right. But I'm also not a wrestler, you see. And so
All the more reason to beat you up. Go on.
well, that's well said, but well taken. But what I would say is at times they kind of portray Ed Asner in a way where his motives are dubious, and they kind of reveal at the end.
Yeah.
So, you know, I hate to spoil this for you guys, that he's more on the level than you'd think. But yeah, and then Fuck You Mama 2 Times says we talk
also real quick, Billy, your grandma and grandpa were filming porn and snuff films. That's why they had that reel to reel. My parents didn't have one of those.
Yeah, my parents.
Go on.
He asked, Fuck You Mama 2 Times asked, we talking Rollerball Rocco, Kendo Nagasaki, Giant Haystacks, and Big Daddy yet? No.
Nope. Only one British guy that makes it in this movie.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, Blurry Line also makes it clear. If you feel like I've spoiled this for you, you've only had 52 years to watch this.
Yeah. Yeah. The big reveal in the sequel is actually that Ed Asner was her father. So then it
Old Boy is actually based on
right. Thank you. Yes. We've just ruined Old Boy as well. Then it cuts to this cool thing where the whole screen is like an old fashioned TV, and you see a wrestler on the television cutting a promo. And I guess the TV is in Verne's house, but you don't always see that. But it's just a really cool, like, just a recurring theme is that just your whole screen is just this TV. So it's like you're watching it in those days.
And it's Billy Graham, isn't it?
It's fucking superstar Billy Graham, and he's awesome. And then it cuts to a horribly shot match of him dragging Wahoo McDaniel around. Like, you can't even tell what's happening.
Nope.
And you can't even tell that it's a strap match until the very, very end.
Yeah. And Wahoo wins.
There's a saxophone that sounds like that old Nestle commercial, you know. Remember fucking Sweet Dreams You Can't Resist. Nestles. It's that. So it's fucking stupid. Backstage, there's a wrestler getting his blood pressure taken, and Graham walks in, face full of blood. I gotta get stitches for this, man.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Ed Asner's talking to Billy Taylor in the hallway. And then we get the fisheye lens of who I thought, and you apparently also thought, was Mike Bullard, fighting someone who I thought was Ray Stevens.
It is Ray Stevens.
But it's actually, it is Ray Stevens. So it's Jackie Cutter.
Jack Cutter is the Verne Gagne
the bald
lookalike guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's actually NCAA champ Joe Scarpello.
Yes.
So then after he dies, what is it that kills
Hold on,
him?
after he dies?
Yeah, doesn't he die?
You don't
in
just
this
say
scene right
after
here?
he dies because so this is a major plot
he dies
point.
in the ring. Oh yeah,
this is a major plot point in the movie is you see Ray
and
Stevens.
You might miss it because this movie's paced terribly. Go on.
Ray Stevens is wrestling this bald guy who looks just like Verne Gagne, and
a little bit hairier, but yeah,
it's dark, so it's very hard to tell what's going on. But he slams this guy on the mat. It turns out to be Jack Cutter. And Stevens clearly has him beat, right? And then he climbs the top rope. And he jumps off the top rope and he drops a knee on the man's face.
Mm-hmm.
He's automatically disqualified for jumping off the top rope, but this guy's not moving at all. Then the doctors come in and they go, "This man is dead."
I did leave that huge plot point out.
Yeah, it's kind of a big fucking development, you moron. So
and you know why? Because even in 1974, that fucking flippy shit was killing people. And, you know, we saw it even here in this movie. It's 52 years old. I think it's about time to put an end to it.
Yeah. So basically the point is that Ray Stevens has murdered a man in the ring. There's no criminal charges filed.
I don't think he intended to murder him. It's like manslaughter, I think.
But he didn't even have to do the move. You know what I mean? He didn't even have to. You
They
know,
didn't have to. Did Gorgeous George have to primp and preen? Of course not, but he did. I mean, you know, sometimes, I mean, the thing is, he probably fought Jack Cutter before. He probably knew it was going to take 2 finishers to put him out, you know? So, I mean, I don't blame him. I don't think he was at fault for killing that man.
and then so my notes say Ray kills a guy with a diving knee drop. He's declared dead. He looks just like Verne Gagne. They then cut to a shot of the ring announcer telling the crowd the guy's dead, where you can clearly see Jack Cutter's dead body breathing. Ed Asner. Then they cut to Ed Asner talking to these reporters, and he's ranting and raving. Ed Asner rants to the newspaper people there after the show about why they wouldn't even cover Jack Cutter's death when they would cover anything that happened in football.
Oh, a football player stubs his toe, and it's a 5-page report.
And the newspaper guy goes, well, that's because this doesn't belong in the sports section. This belongs in the theater section. And Ed Asner goes, what? Because we're colorful?
Right.
And
this is the scene we were talking about where, go ahead.
He basically doesn't ever say it's not fake. And then he calls themselves colorful, which I thought was interesting. And then the newspaper guy says, if wrestling's such a big deal, what was Cutter earning? $75 a night? Guy doesn't realize that Verne almost certainly didn't pay that much. The newspaper guy accidentally makes a lot of good points, and he's supposed to be the villain. Ed Asner also says there's 40 million wrestling fans who want to know about it.
Right.
And then Asner closes by saying, if this is fake, then why don't you tell that to DiBiase? And he names off all these people who died in the ring.
A bunch of dead wrestlers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, I hope their families were okay with you doing that. Like, I really do.
I feel like this scene is where you are really getting that. Like we were talking about Verne's philosophy coming through. This scene is it, because it's all, we're colorful. And he says a couple things about how, you know, these guys are busting their asses every night. They have to work out. They have to train. I mean, he's basically making the same arguments we still hear today, where, people don't make the fake comments as much as they used to, but just, like he's defending it. He's just saying it's just like any other sport. He just stops just before he says it's worked, you know?
He never actually says it's not fake.
Right.
And this is real athletic competition. He never says that. And
no, it's just,
it was kind of ahead of its time, really.
No, it was. And it reminds me, like, are we going to spoil the Iron Claw here? Did you see the Iron Claw?
I saw half of it and I got bored.
There's a part where they go out on a, whatever Von Erich goes out on a date with a girl, and he's describing wrestling to her. And he's just like, well, it's, what does he say? You know how when you go to a job, you work really hard at your job because you want to do the best and you want to be on top at your job. Well, wrestling's the same way. And it's the same thing where it's like, he comes really, like she calls it fake. He won't call it fake. And they did a pretty good job of like kind of explaining it, but this movie does, I think it does a fair job it's a fair defense. It's pretty good. And like you said, 1974, it's way ahead of its time.
It's a great defense and it's very logical.
Well, it's legit.
Yeah.
So it's the same things we're saying today, you know?
The bookie guy. So Ed is coming back from this trip.
Mm-hmm.
He's at the airport. The bookie guy and his muscle confront Ed again with he's with the two thugs. The bookies want Verne to throw the match with Taylor.
Right.
Because this is a very legitimate match.
It's classic 1970s filmmaking too, and especially like low budget, where it's like, we don't really have enough time to do more than one camera angle, so we're just going to hold the camera on you for the entirety of this 5-minute conversation.
There's no cuts.
And it's there's no fucking cuts.
No. Then they go back.
So we're back at the office. Yeah.
And also it should be said, Frank stays hard as fuck, guarantees them nothing.
He won't do it. And he doesn't like flinch at all. You can tell he's been in this business a long time because he doesn't flinch at all. At various points in this movie, I actually got confused, and I thought that Ed Asner was who's that guy from Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh,
Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins.
Fucking
Bob Hoskins name checked.
Right.
Nice.
So then we go. You've only watched.
Well, I don't like biopics because they're generally incorrect and wrong.
Yeah, and they're all kind of the same. I like that movie, but I don't really watch music movies because
I don't watch
they're the
music
exact same movie. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I'll watch them later on just because I do like that stuff. But anyway, back to The Office. It's
Sam
Ed
Muchnick
and his-
is name checked. The secretary says
Yes.
Sam Muchnick called to see if Ed
Blah, blah,
Asner
blah.
was going to go to the committee meeting,
Oh, right.
which is like the NWA meeting,
And
which
we'll
is
get
funny
to
because the AWA wasn't in the NWA.
Right. So Betty Bullard called, Mike Bullard called, and the secretary accidentally slipped up and told him all about Billy Taylor. She offers to resign, and then we get a phone call, baby. And that phone call from a man by the name of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And Dusty's at a bar. He wants an advance for him and his partner, Dick Murdoch.
Mm-hmm.
But Dusty doesn't get the chance to ask because Ed Asner is basically just like, don't start any fucking fights.
He's like, I'm tired of paying for shit for you guys. Stop this shit. Like
everything
like
you
destroying stuff.
Yeah. You're blowing all your money on booze, cowboy hats. Dusty's fucking young in this movie too. Like, and him and I thought he was pretty entertaining. I thought him and Dick Murdoch were both.
They were.
funny in
Oh,
this,
I thought they were
actually,
very entertaining. Yeah.
There's a drunk at the bar. He's trying to start shit. They don't want to do it. Couple of dudes walk in to the classic, do you want to hear some racist music?
Yeah, so it's
And
like they do
challenge
that
him to a fight. And they challenge him because karate will always defeat pro wrestling.
They keep going karate, very strong.
Right, because they can't speak English.
Pro wrestlers, very weak. And so then they go to their table and he karate chops the table and it busts in half. And then Dusty and Murdoch, they want to stay out of trouble. So
because they don't want to get in trouble with Frank anymore.
Right, they don't want to get Frank in trouble or Frank mad at them again because he won't book them if they get in trouble. So then they get up and they go to another table. And then he's like, karate, very technical, wrestling, very dumb or whatever. And he chops the table again.
And that is the extent of his karate.
Yeah, there's 2 karate chops. Also, this guy is dressed as Odd
he's
Job.
just a super... Yeah, and he's actually listed as Odd Job in the credits.
So he's the guy who played
I
Odd
thought was
Job
weird.
in... Because I know that guy became a professional wrestler.
Yeah, that would be 1948 Summer Olympic American silver medal weightlifter Harold Sakata.
Yes. So then Dusty and Dick Murdoch decide, well, we got to do something about this. And so they're like, well, we're going to do something about it. And then they proceed to just destroy these 2 karate guys.
And it's totally like you're watching the Dukes of Hazzard, just like throwing guys over the bar and just fucking couple of good old boys fighting.
Yeah, it's a couple good old boys fighting. And then the guy that had said he could destroy Murdoch whenever he wanted to, they come up to him and they're like, let's have a beer with him. And then they each grab a beer and then they take his hat off and then they pour the beer in the hat and then they put the hat back on his head.
Yeah.
And
it's
the guy,
funny.
He has to take it because he's obviously a fucking idiot.
Right. Well, he was shit-faced.
Yeah.
That guy was so fucking drunk.
Yeah. Was there a snap pool cue? I believe there might have been.
Yeah, there had to be.
I mean, that was just a gimmick.
Oh, and then
that time.
Dusty comes up from behind the bar with a couple of beers and shit like that.
It's fun though. It is.
No, I thought that was one of the better parts of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, Dusty's totally a natural. Like you could see it even in that scene. Like it's like that's why you went on to be Dusty. I mean, he's probably already pretty big, but
okay.
Was he teaming with Murdoch at this point?
Yeah, they were still the Texas Outlaws. Yeah.
Okay, so this is before Dusty truly becomes
Dusty was not a huge star yet. No.
Interesting.
This
okay.
is that. He's a heel. He's still a heel.
You can see it. Yeah. I mean, you can
can see the beginning
camera made
of Dusty Rhodes. He talks like you can also tell that Superstar Graham did this first because you had seen a promo of his earlier in the movie where he's full on in that mode and Dusty's like 3/4 of the way to that.
He's not
mode.
there yet. Yeah, he's still a cowboy at this point.
The huge shit that you skipped over earlier when Ed came back to the office is Mike Bullard, Verne Gagne, had called in from Munich. Very early.
And he found out about Ray
in the morning. And
Billy Taylor.
Ed Asner had told her not to tell Verne anything about this new guy, Billy. And she told him everything about Billy. And then she told Verne that she wouldn't tell Ed Asner anything about her telling him about Billy. And then
if there's a huge plot point, I'm going to miss that, and I'm going to focus on the little minor elements like Dusty Rhodes. Go on.
Yes. And then, so basically she betrays everybody that she gave her word to. That's when she offers to resign, and he kind of blows it off. And he's like, yeah, you better go answer that phone, blah, 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 blah.
She's what Jim Ross would refer to as a Jezebel.
She's a Jezebel.
She's an absolute Jezebel.
And then, then Verne Gagne is back in town early.
Right.
And he wants to play tennis with,
of course,
Ed Asner.
Because if you haven't gotten enough of Ed Asner sweating profusely, so Gagne is just making a fool of him on the fucking tennis court. And just like kind of, it's like he's teasing him, but you can tell that Verne Gagne is a fucking asshole. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because his teasing is, it looks like you're a little bit out of shape there, you know? Like, he's
look at you, you flabby piece of shit. I mean, might
he's
as well.
Fucking rude. Yeah. So they're going back and forth. They're talking about the Super Bowl of wrestling. They dab their necks. He's fucking doing this kind of shit with a towel. And then he offers, what is it? He wants a spot on the Super Bowl, and he says that he'll meet Taylor in the locker room at the boys club or something. He weasels his way into this boys club thing because Asner doesn't want him there. He's like, it's okay, I booked somebody.
Earlier in the movie, because he was supposed to be in Munich during the exhibition.
Right.
So usually Verne does the exhibition for the boys club, but he was supposed to be in Munich, but he came back early. And he's like, well, I guess I better get ready for that exhibition. He's like, well, actually, I already booked somebody, and it's Billy.
Right.
So he booked Billy versus Nick Bockwinkel for the exhibition. And Verne is like, I'm going to be there. I want to see this guy.
Right. And so then we get like a little, it's just a bunch of takedowns, basically.
Yeah.
Him and Bockwinkel. At one point, is this where Ed Asner kind of gets in and he's like, hey, it's just an exhibition. Don't start any shit, because he's getting a little violent.
Bockwinkel starts punching Billy and kneeing him in the face and stuff. And he's like, this is supposed to be a simple, classic exhibition. Classic style. Right. Because I will end this right now.
Wrestling is real.
Yes,
wrestling in this movie. Real. Wrestling is real. So Bullard meets Taylor in the locker room, and he says that, again, kind of a little not really breaking kayfabe, but pulling the curtain back a little. He says, every year I bring a bunch of rookies to my farm and I train them. And would you, Billy Taylor, like to come to my farm and train these rookies with me? Which is something that Verne Gagne really did in real life. Yep. And you always hear those legendary stories about how it was sub-zero weather and we had to wrestle in our fucking winter clothes and all this shit.
Mm-hmm. And then
first, the basement. Another wood panel basement. Mike Bullard cozying up with his wife. The fire is going. They're watching wrestling. She's complaining about watching wrestling, which I think is probably kind of a common thing for a lot of wives. Sorry if that's a little sexist and stereotypical, but the
way they're portrayed at this time.
What's that?
The way they're portrayed in movies, especially at this time.
Oh, absolutely. But well, I just meant that my wife is always complaining about me watching wrestling.
Well, that's fair.
I was talking about my own personal experience.
Fair.
And so whatever, she wants him to retire, and he basically says he wants to unify the belts. And it's the only time he really, I think, mentions that.
Yeah.
But then we go to the scene you were talking about in Mike's garage, Verne's garage, whatever, Burns' barn. There's a shit ton of wrestlers. Mm-hmm. Dan Gable's there, Olympic gold medalist. And then did you recognize a lot of the wrestlers that were in that scene or no?
Some of them, yeah. So,
because I know Brunzell is one of them because they mention him by name, but that's all I know.
And his wife also says she wants him to retire after the next time he loses, which is the Ric Flair stipulation, right? Right. So, he agrees. You know, he's full of shit. Anyway, they cut to his barn. And Dan Gable is there to train and spar with the wrestlers. Right. And the first guy that he spars with is Mike Graham, son of Eddie Graham. Gable completely whoops Mike's ass. Verne describes...
And it's all... Oh, go ahead.
Verne also very carefully describes everything that we can already see with our eyes as it happens.
And it's all like takedowns, hip tosses, arm locks. And I mean, the point of it is to basically show like, see, we do those same moves in pro wrestling. Gable is fresh off. I don't know.
Yes, he is. That is true. Okay. And he says he's the best wrestler in the world. Even the Russians acknowledge that because he had just won at the 72 games. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know shit about the Olympics. Sorry.
Yep.
So then he's going to demonstrate a philosophy of this is exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's a Verne's memoir jerking himself
this whole
off.
Fucking movie is just Verne. Yeah. So after Gable does his thing, Verne says, well, now I'm going to demonstrate a philosophy known as professional wrestling, because that's a like, can you imagine someone like, now I'm going to show you a philosophy known as professional basketball.
Right. Well, yeah, throughout the ages, the Romans and the blah, 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 but this is now professional.
Oh, God. He starts talking about like Japanese emperors, George Washington, who I've never heard was a wrestler. Abe Lincoln was a wrestler.
Yep.
And they all do these exact same things that you're going to learn here. And then Billy Taylor and Jim Brunzell go into the ring to demonstrate, and it's the same thing where
Billy Taylor's like demonstrating so they're using this to show the difference between amateur and pro wrestling, where you could throw a guy to the floor or whatever,
right?
And as Billy's wrestling Jim Brunzell, they add all this reverb to Verne's voice, and it sounds like this super villain narration of the history of pro wrestling,
right?
So Billy Taylor. What is it? He's
doing a bunch of he's doing like hip tosses and takedown, like the same kind of things, only he's like wrestling them up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Verne also says that Brunzell, quote unquote, falls wrong. You will learn to fall properly as time progresses.
Which is interesting.
Yes.
We're not going to say it's fake.
We're right.
But we're almost going to say it's fake.
And then Eddie Graham.
So crazy.
And fucking Midwest superstar Wilbur fucking Snyder. Okay. Wilbur was a big deal. He wrestled for Dick the Bruiser. He was an Indiana boy. Okay.
Right.
And that was like his territory. He wrestled in Indiana and he wrestled in AWA sometimes. And his big move was the drop kick. But Eddie and Wilbur start wrestling with the supervillain narration. And it's, and then Verne does this long narration about,
dude,
the Egyptians, the Romans,
and at one point he says that you will need to work out, and they say this more than once in the movie. You will need to work out for 6 hours a day.
Yeah, he goes. Other than work, you're going to need to work out 6 hours a day. But other than that, that's about it.
It's a snap.
Yeah,
none of these motherfuckers are working out for 6 hours a day. I don't think it's possible. Go on.
Then they cut to the dinner table inside where Verne's feeding all the rookies. And Verne's talking.
Which is cool.
Verne's talking at the table. And there is this chubby guy with dark brown hair who looks very familiar. He's drinking milk.
Uh-huh.
He looks like a little chubby kid.
Oddly respectful.
Yeah. And I was trying to figure out who it was. And I realized that's fucking Ric Flair.
Yeah. Yeah. And they don't draw any attention to it whatsoever because he's a nobody at this point. He's got brown fucking hair and he's like, those old pictures of the beefy Flair. Yeah.
Well, Flair had talked about his best buddy was Ken Patera. And so he was trying to do all the same things Patera was doing, but it just made him flabby and it made Ken jacked. But yeah, so this was filmed during that time where, famously the Iron Sheik, Ric Flair, and Ricky Steamboat were all being trained. And so it's, that's a very famous, thing that Flair has talked extensively about.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, in all the documentaries, if they ever talk about whether it's AWA, Gagne, whatever, you always hear about that fucking barn and those training things. Yes. So it was really cool.
Larry Line with a good point. Cody will make this exact movie starring himself in like 12 years. Yes, that's true.
That's totally it.
I hope he's bald too. I really do.
Oh God, I do too. And I don't, so we're back so this is a pivotal scene that I won't leave out. We're back at Ed Asner's office, and Billy Taylor is talking to the secretary. And I don't remember what they're talking about. It doesn't matter. But he says to her, I was going to ask you out for dinner, but after the look I saw you exchange with your boss, I think I won't do that.
He realizes she's in love with Ed Asner.
And that's gross. And he also, did you catch, he referred to her as a pepper pot.
Yeah, he called her Pepper Pot.
And Pepper Potts is Tony Stark's secretary.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I looked it up, and all I could find were recipes for pepper pot. So it must have been a popular saying at the time. But yeah, I was like, oh shit, pepper pot. That's crazy. Now I'm going to say something controversial before we go further. Mm-hmm. It was at this point after the dinner scene where I realized that, is this movie wildly egotistical in its tribute to Verne Gagne? Yes. Also, is Verne kind of a decent actor in what he's being asked to do? Yes. He's not that bad. It could be so much worse. He's not horrible. No.
The best actor in the movie is probably Ed Asner technically. But other than that, it's probably Billy Robinson. He's not that bad either.
I mean, that's the thing. Even Lord Blears is obviously comfortable on camera, if nothing else. Yeah. I mean, then, and the same thing with Gagne. Like, he's not doing that thing where he's like looking at the camera, paging Mr. Herman. Like, he's not doing any of that shit.
Right.
He's just sex pot, honey pot.
Word terms from the era. Yeah. I mean,
that makes sense.
And just being like overtly sexual towards any woman that you thought was attractive that's par for the course, baby. Portrayed as
1974.
Normal.
Yeah, it was 1974.
And it's the wrestling business too.
Yeah, you're lucky these guys weren't even scummier.
Then they cut.
Hold on a second. I'm being paged.
Okay, I'll talk about the next scene. They cut to there's Degree's dog.
Don't come back. Find a new family to live with. Sorry, that was my dog.
They cut to the pool side. They're now at a hotel by the pool.
Yeah.
And Ed Asner is yelling at this group of guys, and one of them is Vincent J. McMahon. It's Vince McMahon Sr.
Yeah.
Okay. And basically, these guys represent the NWA. They're the kind of just, what would you say? They're just kind of referred to as the council or whatever.
Yeah, I think they call them the board.
The board,
keep calling them, yeah.
And basically, Vince McMahon himself says, and he just sounds like some typical New York guy who knows people in the mob.
And he's got a ton of lines. Like,
he speaks a lot in the movie. Yes.
Yeah.
And Vince McMahon's the loudest one of them. Also a guy who had just recently joined the NWA, by the way. Rejoined the NWA was Vince McMahon. And they're like, look, he's Verne's too old. He's too old, and you need to get that title off him if you want to be at the Super Bowl, and we can do it without you. And Ed Asner, with the greatest line, says, so bald Ed Asner goes, yeah, but Dory Funk is bald, man.
Right. And then one of the other promoters says, yeah, but he's only 32. So how old is Verne Gagne in this movie?
Billy makes a good point. Yeah, they asked Verne to play an overly egotistical wrestler who slyly thinks he knows more than everyone else. Wow, that's a stretch. Verne Gagne basically plays himself.
He does. So the other promoters in that scene, I have it up here, Vincent J. McMahon, Bill Crouch, which sounds familiar, but I don't know who that is.
Okay.
Eddie Graham, Wally Carbo, and the Pro Wrestling Forever favorite announcer, Rod Trongard.
Rod Trongard, baby. Rod Trongard for life.
The fucking best.
The father of this show.
Dude, no shit. I love fucking Rod Trongard. So anyway,
Rod.
So for real, how old is Verne?
Yeah, Verne must be like in his late 40s in this movie.
Right.
And so now you kind of finally see the totality of the pressure that this Ed Asner's under.
Yeah.
Which is the wife is freaked out that Verne's going to die. The promoters think he's an old fucking flabby piece of shit and they want him out. Okay. But they never say, like, have him drop the match, have him throw the match. They're like, you need to find somebody who can beat him.
Yeah.
And
it's hilarious because they keep talking about how like old and like he looks like shit and he's knock-kneed and all this stuff. But it's like, but nobody can beat him, so he's clearly the best.
Well, and that's
like,
the thing.
Not,
so they keep arriving at, well, I keep trying, but he's just better than everybody. Also, Blurry Line says Verne's 48 in this movie. He might be. I'm not sure if you looked that up or not, but he very well might be. He wrestled well into his 50s. On top.
You know what? I do have the power of the internet at my fingertips.
Yeah.
Let me hold on. But you're going to have to do math.
Yeah.
Verne Gagne was born in 1926.
26. So this movie's 74. Wait a minute. He's like, he's 48. That would be 48. So,
okay. I was like, wait a minute. He's 28.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
So basically,
so he's 48.
They want to do this Super Bowl thing, but Verne's literally such an old piece of shit that they're like, we won't even let you in if he's still a champion.
Like he's going to die if we let him compete in this match.
Right.
So, okay.
Then they cut to a match between Billy Robinson and recent murderer Ray Stevens.
And that scene is the fucking best part of the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see all that shit. So yeah, Ray Stevens, that old shot with the television, he's cutting a promo. Lots of drums in this one. A lot of jazzy music. A lot of hand holding and monkey flips is what I have in my notes.
In the match?
Yeah. Like a lot of that stuff where it's like they'll clasp their hands, then they like kick the guy over, like the monkey flip kind of thing, you know?
This is my notes on the match. Stevens is an evil, murdering, crippling fucker, but he's no match for the scientific Englishness of Billy Robinson.
No, not at all. It's all fish and chips, baby.
And the blaxploitation-esque soundtrack to this match, combined with the already nascent homoeroticism of pro wrestling, makes this match kind of feel like a porno.
A little bit. And especially when you see Verne Gagne in the background wearing a turtleneck and a black and white checkered jacket.
He looks like he's in a cuck chair watching this match. Yeah.
Staring at it.
He also looks like he's 75 in this scene.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's kind of gross and weird and uncomfortable. And then we cut to a staple of 1970s exploitation films, low budget movies, is you get a close-up shot of a woman with a beehive hairdo singing a song.
In a red-lit, smoky club. Yep.
For so long that you begin to wonder if the movie stopped and another movie has started, because the camera doesn't pan out for like a whole verse.
Yeah.
Finally, the camera comes back. We see that we're in like a tavern or some sort of a bar, and
Ed Asner's on a date with his granddaughter, right?
Well, it's a business dinner. And she's asking him how the steak is. He's like, well, it's good. And she's like, well, is it as good as mine? And he says, I don't know. And she says, well, you should taste mine sometime, which is one of my favorite lines in the whole fucking movie.
Wow, honey, you are putting it out
dude, this guy's under pressure from all sides.
Ed Asner had to be 50 in this movie.
Dude, and he has no concept. And it's just fucking great.
And then the gamblers show up.
Right, the mob guys.
The bookie guy shows up with his muscle again.
Right, and he puts his cigar out and his potatoes.
And he's like, I got $500,000 on Billy Robinson beating him. You better make sure it happens. And yeah, he puts his cigar out in Ed Asner's food.
Oh, yeah. It just cliches galore.
And then Ed Asner is super pissed because he really liked the food.
Yeah.
And then she goes, let's go back to my apartment. I'll make us some coffee. Right. And they apparently dine and dash. Like, they didn't show them pay for the food. They just get up and leave.
They end up in this fucking swanky 1970s Jim Steranko fucking apartment.
Yeah.
I have no idea how
badass.
this woman can afford that fucking apartment.
I know. It probably
looks like it's
$40 a month.
Danger Diabolic. Like, it fucking looks like that. Like, it's just this
leak. Yes.
Yeah, but I think it's actually Diabolic, isn't it?
No, it is.
I've always said Diabolic.
I say stuff like that just to be stupid.
I used to actually think it was pronounced that way because I was stupid. Anyway, so they're back at her apartment. Sexy saxophone. She comes out in this like skin tight fucking slinky dress with like the big necklace, and
she's just putting it out there at this point.
Dude,
she's like, dude,
I gotta be honest though.
Fuck. Why won't you bang me?
the whole sweater vest, butterfly collar thing is kind of more my style, but she's fucking hot. This lady's hot. So anyway, yeah, basically that's what she says. Will you please fuck me, Ed Asner? And he doesn't want to be hurt, Blade, because he's been in love before and he just can't put himself through that again. So he leaves, but he doesn't leave.
You do this so bad. Okay. They go to her house. She's dressed very skin tight and pretty much demands that he put the moves on.
Yes.
He tells her, "You make me feel real good." Like a genuine Don Juan. Then he confesses that he enjoys flirting with her.
Yeah. And he likes to come to work.
And that
because of her.
He's in a bad mood if he gets too busy because he doesn't get that 15 minutes to flirt with her. Then she tells him that she's in love with him. She just puts it all out there. And
did she say that?
Yeah.
I kind of zoned out a few times in this movie.
She says she needs him and wishes he felt the same way. And he's like, I do, but I'm bad at love. Love is a thing he sucks at. He says if he lets himself love her, no holds barred. That's an actual quote.
That I should have been paying attention.
That they'd lose what they have already, which is basically him just being her boss. She says she's not afraid. She's willing to take the chance. He says, and I quote, "I'm too big a bastard, kid, to be that much." Then he walks out. Then he stops. Yeah. Then he rings the doorbell. Then she opens the door. Then they make out. And then they probably bang.
Because he says, I never did get that coffee.
I never did.
Let's make this power dynamic really fucking
exactly. I should
weird.
be your boss and your lover. That's a great idea.
And your grandfather.
And your grandfather. Exactly. He came back to give her some of those. What were those candies that your grandfather?
Werther's Original. Yeah.
So they have sex, and he gives her a Werther's Original after.
At this point, it's just like a bunch of candy. It's all like stuck like it's one big piece of that ribbon candy and shit. Oh God, it's so fucking gross. At this point, my notes just say, "Oh my fucking God." And then if you go over to my phone and you look at me texting you, I'm also saying, "Oh my fucking God, this movie."
That is an actual text, yes. Yeah.
Oh shit. So that's
so Verne walks.
Oh my God.
Oh, so then Verne. So then they're back in Ed's office, and Billy tells him he wants the match with Mike. That he wants the match with Verne, and he goes, "Well, you tell him." And Verne walks in. Billy wants a match. Verne just says no.
Yeah.
And then Verne actually gives a pretty rational reason why. Again, Verne's logic is pretty good here. He says, "Look, I know you're a great wrestler. You're one of the best in the world, but the public doesn't know it, and I make my living selling tickets." Then Frank says, "Hey, but they have time. We have time. We have a couple weeks to promote the fight." And keeping in mind, this fight will happen before the Super Bowl.
Right.
And then Verne says he has a hurt ankle, and then he limps out. And Billy goes, "Was he limping when he came in?" And I can tell you for a fact he was not. And then I'm like, Verne's the good guy, but he's literally dodging this match.
Mm-hmm.
So then Frank steps it up a level, not realizing that he's playing into a master plan here. Frank goes on television and says, "I have tried to make this fight between Verne Gagne and Billy Robinson, and Verne Gagne has refused." Then Verne has this wry little smile, and his wife's like,
we're back at Verne's house in the wood paneling basement. Again, with
and he's sitting with his wife, and she's like, "They're making the match anyway." And he's like, "Just like I knew he would." And Verne goes, "Well," she's like, "Well, but I didn't think anybody knew about who Billy was."
Right.
And he's like, "They do now because he made the challenge on TV."
Right. He's playing fucking 4D chess. Basically, he just lets what was going to happen anyway happen and takes credit for it like he's some sort of a fucking genius. Yep. Did we fuck or not? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yes. And then Ed Asner shows up to his house, and he's like, "So, just wanted to see if you saw TV last night." And he's like,
Hold on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw
now,
it.
See, this I may have missed some massive plot points, but
literally the plot points.
Verne Gagne is lifting weights like on the seaside. And Ed Asner shows up in a fucking trench coat with the wind blowing the little wisps that are left of his hair.
Little Homer Simpson
right?
Little things on his head. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when he basically realizes, you've played me for a fool and I've walked right into your hands.
Well, what's great about it is he goes, I thought you'd be pretty sore at me, when you saw that I made the match without you. And Verne goes, look, you're a promoter. You promote the matches. I'm a wrestler. I wrestle the matches you promote. And then he goes, wait a minute. So you've been playing Billy Robinson this whole time. And Verne's like,
yeah.
Like,
bing. Like it's a fucking Mentos commercial.
Yeah, totally. It's so bad. And Billy adds that it is Verne's lakeside property.
Yeah.
That Minnesota once took it for eminent domain because Verne had leveraged it for collateral money to keep the AWA functional for years. And once they annexed that, you couldn't do it anymore. The
state of Minnesota was like, dude, call it a fucking day.
Yeah, this promotion is over.
You had a turkey on a pole match. Like, it's time to just wrap it up.
We watched that tag tournament you just did. It's over, bud.
Sergeant Slaughter's your biggest star. So, okay, then we get this vaudeville music and this kind of montage of shots of merchandise and fans piling in and all this other shit. Because we're at the arena. We're ready for it to happen. And Ed Asner gets accosted by the mob, and they have his girlfriend.
And they're
holding her hostage. Because she's not just his secretary. She's not just his granddaughter. She's his lover, and she's his soulmate. And they've got her. And they go into this locker room. Couple more karate chops to the back of the head.
They beat the shit out of Ed Asner.
Yeah. He gets color and shit. Like, he's bleeding.
He bladed, basically.
Inside of his mouth.
Yeah.
And then he spent, like, you can obviously tell he's got like a blood pack or something because he's like,
I'm surprised there isn't like a piece of plastic from the blood pack hanging out.
And Bruiser and Crusher show up and they save the day and everything goes okay.
To show you how nefarious these men were, they show up and Ed refuses once again to tell them that Verne's going to do the job. And so they beat the shit out of him. And then they talk and he's like, I'm telling you that if Verne Gagne doesn't do the job, you're dead. And then they're like, do it again. And they beat him up again. And then they're like, then the bookie guy is like, now to show you we mean business, why do you do it to her, guys, just the way you did it to him?
Oh, yeah.
You do it the same. And right when that happens, the Bruiser and Crusher come in and literally fucking throw these dudes through lockers. It's actually pretty awesome.
It is. It's
and then they throw the guys through a door that breaks in half, and you can clearly see that it's prop cardboard. And they just pile all the bodies on top of each other as if to say they're not a threat anymore.
Right. And it's totally cartoony and it's awesome. And it's, I don't know. I like that scene. I like when they show up.
Bruiser and Crusher are the best part of this movie.
They really are. Yeah.
They really are great.
And they just like Bruiser and Crusher feel like they should have had a Hanna-Barbera cartoon where they solve mysteries.
They kind of,
that's what, like that's the vibe I get from them.
There's definitely like an imaginary friend that only they see.
They are the imaginary friends.
Yeah.
I think like a little kid like puts his rings together and Bruiser and Crusher appear or whatever.
And then the best part is Verne shows up and just steps over the bodies that are in the hallway. Goes, what happened?
He pokes his head in. He's holding his championship belt and he's like, "Whoa,"
And he's like, what happened? Very convenient timing, Verne.
Yeah, no shit. Then we get to the main event. The big match. It's finally going to happen.
Well,
did I miss some other huge plot point?
Kind of. Frank says he finally comes clean that the mob has been leaning on him to get Verne to throw the match, and that he'll be killed and his partner will be killed if he doesn't throw the match. And Verne's response to that is to say nothing and then blink and then go like, okay, I'm going to go out there now. Like he never actually agrees or even for the match.
He wasn't acting. He wasn't acting for this.
He never at any time shows any concern for their lives whatsoever. And so Verne just walks out and now we're in the big match, baby. It's time. The match we've all been waiting for. And there had been some important scenes before this, but Billy comes to the ring. Then Verne comes to the ring. Verne's signing autographs in the corner before the match as if he couldn't be bothered, you know. Billy is introduced as the Japanese champion. He's British.
Right.
The
But he was holding the belt in Japan.
Yes. The match starts. They lock up several times. Things get a little testy between the two of them. Mm-hmm. The massive floodlight makes things impossible to follow at many different points. Billy gets Verne in a full Nelson, and Verne literally looks like he's going to die. He's sweating. He looks like he really can't get out of it, but Billy lets him out of it because
before this starts, though, did you catch who the referee was?
No.
It was not Greg Brady, but a young Greg Gagne, who looks a lot like Greg Brady. And before the fucking match starts, he explains the rules of the wrestling match. And it takes like 5 fucking minutes.
It's
and
way
it is
too long.
So dull. And it's like, I think we know how wrestling matches work. You
That's
probably could have just skipped it entirely.
Why it makes so much sense it was Greg Gagne, because it was boring and I tuned out. And that's what Greg Gagne did for the next 30 years of his wrestling career. Wow.
Okay. So
I did not know. I did not catch that. So anyway,
I want to have it be a clean fight. I don't want any cheating, no closed fists. And he just goes fucking on and drones.
Moves off the top rope that will result in disqualification. If you're disqualified, then you lose the title. So there's lots of scientific grappling. Billy just starts outshining Verne.
It's a good match. I mean, we can see of it.
It's the best filmed match, and that's with the floodlight blocking out a ton of the action. They keep wrestling, and then kind of out of nowhere, this dramatic music busts out, but nothing interesting is really happening in the ring. Then Billy has Verne in a leg lock. And then Verne very scientifically kicks Billy in the head.
Right.
But Billy hits a chicken wing suplex. Then he hits a gut wrench suplex, a Saito suplex. Then he hits an arm drag.
Damn, you did some good play-by-play.
Then they flash back to a conversation we didn't even mention earlier in the movie.
Keep in mind, at this point, the music is basically the Hawaii Five-0 theme song.
It's the Hawaii Five-0 music. It's getting louder and louder.
Drums and yeah.
And all that happens is, so Ed Asner had said to Billy, you got to keep him away from the ropes. You got to keep him off the ropes, because if he hits you with that drop kick, you're done. And Billy goes, nobody's ever hit me with a drop kick. Never. And what happens is, after he's been kicked in the fucking head scientifically by Verne, Billy's a little drowsy.
It cuts to slow motion at this point.
And it cuts to slow motion, and Verne runs off the ropes in slow motion, way too long. You can literally see the sweat just popping out of Verne's taint. And he jumps up for the drop kick, and they replay the scene of him going, no one's ever hit me with a drop kick. Never. And then it goes to black.
Total black.
Yep. That's the end of the movie.
And then the credits roll.
The credits roll. It's a fantastic film.
It is, like all good art, it is up to interpretation how it ended. We don't know.
Like all good art, this has nothing in common with good art. It's not good art. But what it is it's a fascinating fictionalization. It's as factual a document of the wrestling industry as you could make at this time.
Yeah. And it's like I was saying yesterday, it's like, I almost wish they could remake it and make it good, because it's like, there's something there. There's a through line there that's not horrible. But it's not good either.
It would be like what if they made this movie, AEW made this movie. Okay. But it's about Kenny Omega. Like Kenny is the star.
Right. And diverticulitis is the problem.
And diverticulitis is Ed Asner. Yeah. We'll find the right opponent for him.
Drinking Pepto-Bismol.
But
who plays the secretary in this version?
In this version, I don't know, Lexi Nair, or R. Kitty Aura, maybe.
Right. No, but RJ City. How about RJ City?
RJ City's the secretary.
Fuck yeah, dude. He's awesome.
And Tony Khan's. Yes, Billy, it's a mockumentary. It reminds me of the Rhodes. Yes. Yes,
kind
it does.
But without the humor is intentional in the Ruddles.
Yeah,
That's
not accidental.
But it is, though, like we were saying, it's definitely, you see Verne's personal beliefs on display. You see him defending wrestling. You see him putting himself out there. But even like the stuff where they go to the boys club and he's like he just says something about like, this is something you can do. It keeps you off the streets. It gives you something to do. It's athletic. Like, which I'm sure that Verne was probably doing shit in his local community. I don't know.
He was. No, I mean,
he was,
club thing was like all over the States. It was like a wrestling hustle that you ran if you were a promoter.
Oh, no shit.
It's like a community service.
That's a real thing.
Eddie Graham had one. Dory Funk Sr. had one. They had these boys clubs.
I didn't know that. I just thought it was like a YMCA thing.
I always think when they call them boys club, it gives me the ick a little bit, but then you see what it actually is. And it's like, no, they're just like teaching these dudes how to wrestle and shit.
Right. But it's not like John Moxley's boys club. It's not the Death Riders.
Blurry Light says, I swear those silhouette shots from Dark Side of the Ring were inspired by this. Yes, but they're much better shot than this.
Yeah.
But it was a really fun movie. I would definitely, I've watched it once before this and I would watch it again. Like it's fun to watch with a friend because you just laugh a lot. Degree and I did not watch it together. I watched it on Saturday night and you watched it on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
But we had a blast fucking just bullshitting. Blurry Line says it's fully on YouTube.
So I tried to watch it on YouTube and it was the sound was really, really bad. I watched it on something called Fawsome, which I think means free and awesome. Mm-hmm. And it was a free app that I got, so you can watch it there. It's on Midnight Pulp, but you have to pay like $6 a month for that.
Yeah, and it's not worth it because that render of that copy is not the DVD copy. It is terrible. It is so bad.
If this is the only movie you want to watch, do not pay $6.99 a month for it.
No.
Just, you can find it.
Billy says, this is my favorite wrestling movie, probably besides the Iron Claw. I've had it on DVD for years. It is everything that professional industry wants you to know on their terms. 100%.
Yep. That's a great line.
Any better. Yeah. And I also have it on DVD. But
you have the real cover, too.
Yeah. I'm getting this poster, by the way. Because what's Verne doing? He's throwing the drop kick. Billy's
copy is like it's got Ed Asner on the front, but then it's got some
weirdo who's not even in the movie.
John Cena prototype.
Yeah, I know.
It looks like a collegiate wrestler thing. Yeah. That poster's fucking killer too.
Oh, dude, I have to get it. I have to get it. It'll go next to my Bandito Most Wanted poster and this baby. And
that's awesome.
Then I'm gonna get Verne's ghost to autograph it for me. Is Ed Asner still alive?
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. If you can get him to autograph,
dude, he looks so fucking old in this movie, and this movie's filmed in because
70s. They couldn't pay for makeup or anything like that.
I'm just like, did he have an out of control drug? He died in 2021.
Damn it. No, but he definitely had a gambling addiction, and that's why he had to.
Yeah, he owed somebody a big favor for this movie.
But to his credit, motherfucker does not phone it in.
No,
he brings his A game to this movie.
He did. He did. And so I think all of the appearances are awesome. I think it's an honest accounting from a promoter's point of view of what wrestling was.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in the history of pro wrestling, you have to see this. It's a must see.
Yeah, I think there's a million wrestling movies that have been made over the years and various levels of, kayfabe or not kayfabe. But this is like I would almost call it like an artifact, like a historical artifact. This is something you put in your time capsule or whatever, because it's a really unique for its era and for what it does and what it says. And like Billy had said earlier, it's wrestling letting you know what it is on their terms.
What was the best part? What was the best part of it for you?
From the best part?
Yeah.
I did think that the secretary was kind of hot.
She was really, really
I thought she was super hot, actually.
Really cute. Yeah.
I think the best part, probably Bruiser and Crusher. I think, or just popping every time somebody shows up that I recognized. That's why that scene with the board of directors and everything. It's like you're at this pool and it's this total 70s corny, like people are doing coke, whatever, drinking Mai Tais. And it's like all these fucking guys, Vince Sr. and fucking Rod Trongard. And like just every time you turn around, there's another wrestler and they're name dropping something. So it's like, I guess that's what I
would say that's
that's the
scene that
obvious
does it
choice,
for me. That they got Vince McMahon Sr., who
that's
is
the big one. Yeah.
Is really like not this guy I've ever heard speak.
Right.
And I forgot that he was in this movie. And for him to
I was shocked.
For him to be so forward about what they wanted out of a champion. This is real shit that they said behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Dory Funk is bald shit. They said that stuff, So like, I thought it was awesome. I thought you guys got to see this movie. It's a lot of fun.
And what's your favorite part, Degree? Well, I thought the secretary was hot. Sorry, I mean it was not. She was good, but movie.
she is extremely cute.
Okay, and here's the thing: if this movie had been any better, maybe I wouldn't be focusing on that. But it was not a very good movie. Let me read the list. We've got Jerry Wade, Don Morocco, James Blears, Dan Hodge, Joe Scarpello, Bruiser, Dan Gable, Crusher, Dusty Rhodes, Wahoo McDaniel, Joe Dusick, Nick Bockwinkel, Superstar Billy Graham, Jay Hyon, Ray Stevens, Lawrence Batson, Ric Flair, Dick Murdoch, Greg Gagne, Larry Henning, Wilbur Snyder, Bobby Cox, Ken Patera, Dennis Hilgart, Jim Brunzell, Horst Hoffman, and then Jack Wildman Armstrong, Dory Funk Jr., Pedro Morales, Mike Graham. There's just fucking shit ton of people in this movie.
It's the who's who of wrestling at that time. I mean, by the time this movie actually came out,
it absolutely was.
Dory and Pedro were no longer the champions by the time this movie was released.
Oh, wow.
So it was filmed in like 72, 73, so 73, I think.
Oh, and they did. Bruno, there's a scene in the movie where he just goes through a slideshow of famous wrestlers.
And he calls Bruno like, the great Bruno.
The best.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he like refers to him as a champ. And it's like, well, here's the guys that we couldn't get for the movie. So we're just going to shove them all in this montage.
Super fun. Aside from like Beyond the Mat or something like that was such a seminal piece. This is one of my favorite pieces of wrestling media. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wish it was better known.
I wish it was. I wish somebody could properly restore it. Like,
yes, because it looks like garbage.
It looks like it was fucking trash.
Yeah, it was tough to watch. Because there were a couple times where, like, I was watching on this Fossum thing, and it got staticky, like I was watching an old VHS. Yeah, I mean, it looked bad.
And I think on mine, on the Midnight Pulp thing, which I already canceled the fucking subscription.
Was anything good on there?
No.
Oh, okay.
But
nothing that you can't get for free on Tubi.
Totally.
Anyway.
Or methods.
Right.
They had a it's just so they stretched it to be like 1280.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks so bad.
No good. That's terrible.
Oh, it looks so bad.
No. But all that said, I am a huge fan of old shitty schlocky movies. I am a huge fan of grindhouse shit. We talked about being Roger Corman fans. So this is absolutely a movie that's so bad it's good. I would recommend it to any wrestling fan. Even though I just sat here and shit all over it for 2 hours, I would still tell you to watch it. Like, you got to see it if you love wrestling.
If you love wrestling, you have to see this movie. I think it's fantastic, and I think fundamentally, yes, I'm a Roger Corman, Vincent Price, those Edgar Allan Poe movies they made. Big fan. Mm-hmm. So like that's my shit. That's like where I come from. Public access television, give it to me. Like talent shows on public access television, religious programming on public access.
I have
television.
The fucking Billy Jack box set. Dude.
Yes,
you're speaking my language.
Yes, Bleary Line says this movie's awful. You got to see it. That's pretty much what we're telling
exactly
you.
It. Yeah.
But like for instance, No Holds Barred was written by Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon, and I have a special place for it in my heart, but it sucks. Like objectively sucks. Hulk Hogan's not a good actor. There's nothing legit about the movie. It doesn't even, it seems like it's written by people who've never watched wrestling. This is not that. This is like a love letter to what wrestling was at the time. But Degree, I think that's it. Is that it for you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything else to say. It was a good movie. It was a good, bad movie. A couple weeks ago, we did the best, worst wrestlers. This week, we did the best, worst movie.
How did you all feel about the movie review format? Let us know. You can send us an email at prowrestlingforeverpod@gmail.com. You can let us know in the comments on whatever platform you're listening to this on. But whatever your platform you're listening to it on, make sure you subscribe.
Yes.
Smash that subscribe button. Give a thumbs up on this video. Share it with a friend. If you got a pro wrestling fanatic friend, this is the podcast for them.
It is.
Pro Wrestling Forever is for you.
If you have a lapsed fan friend, this is the podcast for them, because we're not just talking about modern stuff. We're delving back through the history of professional wrestling, the ephemera, the collectibles, if you will.
And if you have a wrestling movie that you think we should review, let us know.
Yeah, and we're not going to do a play-by-play next time.
Larry Light says, I'd say do one also about the 2008 wrestler, although this one's just generally more interesting.
So here's what's interesting. The 2008 film, The Wrestler, is about a dude who's old, washed up, and he just can't fucking quit the business. And he's just like an indie guy, and he just keeps staying in the business, and it keeps drawing him back in no matter what. And it, in a way, kind of parallels the story of an old man who just can't quit the business in 1974. I don't know if there's any connection. Spoiler, the 2008 movie ends with him jumping off the rope, and then it cuts to black, which is exactly how this one ends. Could be total coincidence. Could be a little something more. I don't know. I've just ruined 3 movies for you.
But if you guys love the uncle wrestler phenomenon, which is wrestlers who look like your fucking uncle, who Dory Funk, fucking these dudes with little guts and bald heads who are literally in their early 30s.
You know what it is it's when Alan Moore would get a hold of like some old Silver Age comic books, and then he would twist them and make them disgusting and drug-addled and nasty.
Yeah.
That's like what the 2008 version is,
Post-apocalyptic.
Right.
Yeah, the Charleston characters in Watchmen.
This is the old Silver Age version where it was bright and shiny and fake. This is Professor Degree. He's Blade Daily. We're here to celebrate professional wrestling in all of its forms, for all time, for all people. Pro wrestling forever.
Sickos Club.